Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever in the world you are. How are you doing? Welcome to TCS eSports League. I'm Digital Bacon, joined here by Switchblade J, either on the right or left. I actually haven't looked at the stream yet, so I can't see what side he's on. But you are just joining in for the 6th week of League play here on TCS eSports League for what is some of the sickest Rocket League around. Aren't I right, Jay?
Oh, it's the sickest Rocket League around. That's also the sickest intro line. I know that because you stole that from me, mate. Wherever you may be
I think
in the
it's
world.
a pretty common one, I'm just going to say.
I don't think I've heard a single caster ever say anything among that, except for myself. I'm the one who is the originator
sim
of the line.
racing, which, you know, I've been getting into
really?
recently. Yes.
Alright, well,
everywhere.
I'll give you credit on that one because I don't watch much sim racing, so I'm not really that big of a aficionado. But certainly in Rocket League and Counter-Strike, I've never seen anything like that. So I'm just going to go for the moment that you stole that line off me. But as you're saying, there's going to be some really sick Rocket League, forgetting the intro lines, some serious Rocket League coming up today on the TCS eSports League. Some very nice tiebreaker matches as well, and legitimate tiebreakers as well. Because for the last 5 weeks, you've sort of seen all the different sort of tiers of teams like clump up into like a higher group, a lower group, and then the monks. So we've kind of haven't necessarily already been able to see the table sort of separate between the squads, and a lot of these games are sort of like similar or the same scoring teams that are all within that same sort of region.
So let's just quickly talk about that table then. So in joint first, I say joint first, of course they've got games separating them a little bit, but you've got Lausanne, Servette, and Team Sir all sharing 4 wins, 1 loss. Then in 4th, you have got Arctic Progressive, 3 wins, 2 losses. Joint, I'm going to say 5th for this because you know how the whole joint system works. It's confusing. Let's just let's roll with it. Joint 5th, SILENTGAMING and with Masters, 2 wins, 3 losses. Helvette's in 7th, 1 win and 4 losses. And then, like you alluded to earlier, Jay, Monks, unfortunately, without a win yet, but they did look strong last week, and here this week they've got Whiff Masters there at joint 5th. Maybe, just maybe, this could be their week to get a little win in their books.
Yeah, it's a possibility, but you know, they still have yet to score a series here so far. So I'm hoping that we'll see a little bit more out of these guys. I'm hoping that we'll see a bit more throughout this week. Unfortunately, they have got the Whiff Masters, as you say, I still rate as pretty higher than them, but that's our 3rd match of the day. Our first match is going to be between Servette Geneva and Arcticgaming. Now, Servette and Arctic are 2 teams that are kind of separate on 2 very different levels. Now, admittedly, they are kind of like just a tier apart of each other in terms of the table. Obviously, Servette, one of the teams that are tied up at the top at 4-1. Arctic aren't too far behind, but certainly I'd say that Servette are probably just the better talents on this squad.
Yeah, Servette have just proven themselves to be ultra strong by taking down what everyone regards to be the strongest team in the league, the Titans, Lausanne, in a very close 3-2 series. Now, that is Lausaine's only loss. Servette's only loss actually came at the hands of Team Sir, who joined them for that 4-1. So we've got like this lovely little, triangle, a triforce essentially of these teams, which, have that strong willpower. They've got that courage and then, of course, just brute strength from Lausanne. It's just fantastic to watch them all develop. And the problem is Arctic are a team that rightfully should be amongst the other 3 and should be up there. So this week they might be able to get that win against Servette and then actually join Servette on that 4-1 win line, which would be pretty tasty just going into the halfway mark next week. I just can't wait to see how this one goes, essentially. It is such a way to kick off this week with 2 of the strongest teams just butting heads.
Yeah, they are some of the strongest teams in the league by far and away. I don't want to take anything away from Arcticgaming, and I do think that the underdogs going into this one, but not by like a major margin. No. This is not like some Dignitas versus, I don't know. I can't really think of any other teams.
At the moment,
at this point, Dignitas versus anybody at this point. It's not like a match like that. It's actually a pretty close sort of affair between these 2 teams, and I think it's going to be. I think this one might actually be a 5-game series. To be honest, Bacon. It's entirely a possibility. It's pretty plausible, actually, I'd say overall.
Yeah, if we were to do some sort of opinion poll on which of these teams is going to win, I'd expect if it's not 50%, it'd be like 51, 52. And then, of course, the opposite way.
Push.
Yeah, it would be super close. And most of those opinion polls are just basically you voting for your favorite team anyway, which both these teams have a lot of fans. We're just going to put it out there as well, aren't we?
Yeah, I imagine we'll see a lot of support for the Servette side, obviously well represented in Rocket League. Of course, we're running the former current Mouse Sports roster in the last season of RLRS, and right now, you know, bringing up a brand new national team, and I'm excited to see how well this will go for them. Certainly, they've got a capable set of talents on their payroll, basically, on their roster. And the Arcticgaming squad, you know, I think they can throw up a pretty decent shout into this one. But moving on to predictions real quick, I kind of want to know what you think of these of the match and where you're going to kind of go. For me personally, I'm going to go with Servette Geneva because I just think that they are just the better squad overall. But it's going to be close. I think Arcticgaming are going to make this a fight.
I think Jay might be reading off my little crib sheet here, guys.
I'm not. I'm really not, actually. I have it loaded up, but I've got it on a different tab. So
yeah, don't worry. Just go with it because I pretty much got the exact same thing. Servette should be the favourites here on paper. They've just sort of etched out the win, and you know we talked about the power rankings last week in our podcast, Jay, and it is all just about Servette. If any, we expect Lausanne to be the team to sort of like win the league. They're the hot favorites, but if any team's going to like knock them down, it's already been Servette essentially taking down Lausanne, and Servette just need to keep building it up. This is a team that, like we said, lost Skyline, who was on their roster, 2 Mouse Sports, of course, so they had to bring up Sack to the main roster, and Sack has been performing something rotten. He has just joined in with Saphir, with Flav, and they have been doing fantastic. Sack said before the departure of the previous roster, before Skyline and the rest of the lads joined Mouse, they didn't actually get that much time to practice with each other. So with this new league play, essentially they've been practicing non-stop. And so going week in, week out, they are getting stronger as time goes on. So Servette are a scary force to be reckoned with. And I think it is showing for them, because Arctic, on the flip side, have been showing little signs of inconsistency every now and then, haven't they?
Yeah, they have been showing, I wouldn't say consistency is the right word, because if they're only showing signs of consistency, it's not very consistent now, is it? But, you know, again, I think signs of talent is the more appropriate term, I believe here. You know, they certainly are a roster to be reckoned with, obviously going toe-to-toe against the Swiss Incredible Rebels, and obviously the Swiss Incredible Rebels were the undefeated team for the entire first, like, 3 weeks of league play. Yeah. So, you know, for them to come up with a result of that, a 3-0 result as well, nothing to scoff out of their own accord. The SAR are also just as good. They're going to be in action a little bit later on against Lausanne. That's our main event of the night. That's going to be absolutely epic. So make sure you stick in for that one. But for our first match, of course, Servette taking on Arctic. We are currently waiting on the Arcticgaming squad. Just having a couple of technical problems and a couple of connection issues. So we should be able to hopefully get into that one relatively soon. But yeah, no, I'm expecting this one to be a really good one. It's going to be a very, very big one to kick things off. Of course, best of 5 rules. In case you're not aware of how the TCS eSports League works, double round robin. All matches are best of 5, and the Arctic squad have now joined. So I think we're ready to go here, Bacon.
Yep, we should be ready to go. I'll just quickly ping the players that they can join. Jay has as well. You can see how excited we are to get into this, because this is going to be an absolutely nuts series for you guys at home. Racking up my volume, Jay, because I'm ready to get into this. I know you are. You're going to be calling all the shots, and I'll be analysing it. So let's get this underway.
Game 1 in the blue side is Servette Geneva. In the orange side, it is Arcticgaming, and they'll start things off on the back foot with the kickoff going well and truly to the favour of Flav. And Flav's going to try to take the offensive line, but Strobe going to try and control this ball to a crawl. Out towards the blue half corner, Sack off this backboard. Actually not going to get away from Melox. The backboard touch is set up, but challenged by the pressure. Strobe will come in for the third man commit. Both players miss the ball, but Flav is able to get it out of contention regardless. A bit of a scramble defensive coming in from Servette early on. Now Zafir takes the ball, runs with it out towards the orange net. An awkward touch from Melox, and Yagi's got to get it back out of the way. So fortunately, it will still line up for the boys from Arctic, but still looking pretty good from the Servette Geneva side. A couple of dangerous balls as well in this orange half.
Arctic has been an interesting one so far this season, having to run with Yagi, their sub, notoriously. And the thing is, Jay, they're still a strong side. Yagi has proven himself, so coming into this, I wouldn't count it as too much of a setback for them, you know?
No, definitely not. Yagi is certainly a capable player, and it's just all going to come down to how well he fits in with the silent. Well, for the most part, it is working up well, although I will admit, I don't think Servette Geneva are playing on the same line of form. Their shot accuracy was not great for that three-man setup that you just saw. Balls going way too high. And now it looks like they may have to struggle a little bit more in the offensive line. Stroby is going to get demoed out by Flavs. The Fair has control in with this Batmobile. Ball will go out to the other side corner where Yagi tries to take control. The Flav quick to return fire. All the pressure in the orange half. Stroby challenges. Sack puts it off the walls. The Fair's going to try to see if he can get the flip, but not going to get the touch again. They're missing. Serious inaccuracies coming in from Servette, not just on the shots, but in just the general ball control. This could be a way for Arctic to exploit a way into the match.
The problem is, though, that Servette are just laying down the pressure on boost. They're stealing just quickly here. Safir steals it and then keeps up the attack. Puts on a great pass to Sack, and the pressure still goes with Flay putting the shot on, trying to keep it on that back line. Near enough, they've only got the four boosts, sorry, around the mouth of the goal here, Servette, and then maybe one of their little corner ones. Arctic, ooh, they're really getting hammered in.
Trying to see if they can break out. Finally, Stroby's going to get a chance, but as you say, the pressure just continues to get applied right back into the orange half. Yagi will get a good shot on target, and Sack will defend here at the halftime marker. Yagi with another successful challenge, but no player to try and challenge and take control in this corner. Regardless, Milox is going to be there. Stroby bumped out of the way, allows Affair to touch the ball. Yagi returns it back into the corner where Sack is able to receive, as is Stroby. Back to Milox, passing play back for the dunk down, double touch off this backboard. No, Stroby just puts it off target. Bit of an awkward stuff. I honestly thought it would have been the double touch coming in from Milox, but not to be. Arctic will just have to rotate back into the defensive line because shots and redirects are coming through from the likes of Fair, and Yagi will have to defend it back over to Milox. They're going to have to try break out of this half again. But 0-0 here at the 2-minute marker. Bacon, both these teams keeping pace with each other, although I do believe the Servette have been on the front foot.
Yeah, Servette have definitely been in charge of this game so far. Really well done by Arcticgaming to be able to withhold it. But this is a very traditional first game where they're both feeling out each other, just basically trying to prod away and find the weak points. Normally you see it get punished quicker than this, but that just shows the caliber of these two teams. It takes them this long to find each other's weaknesses.
A shot opportunity trying to get set up from Yagi, but Stroby's way too far back playing support, and there's no one in the net. Zafair will take the redirect, as you say. Sack with the pass in, and finally they break the cycle. 1-0 on the board for Servette Geneva.
Zafair up in the sort of cherry pick position, just downfield, where he really shouldn't be if you're thinking of this current playstyle that they're playing, where they're just sort of prodding each other. Zafair's had enough of it. He wants a goal, so he's just gone downfield and near enough whispers into his teammate's ear, "Find me."
Man, oh man. Some good shots coming back in as well for the second kickoff coming in from the Servette Geneva side. They're getting close, but no cigar right now. Actually, a good redirect. Oh, the fake! That is beautiful! 1-1 in 60 seconds. Yagi and Stroby for that matter. That is mind-blowing to see.
The thing is, I don't think that was a fake. That was Stroby naturally going up for it, thinking, as in Rocket League, you're needed to get another touch, otherwise the defender's going to be there. And Yagi just calls him off. Good communication, making sure that you don't put in careless touches.
Just like that, Silent are right back into the game. A huge goal. Could be on for overtime here on our first game of the day, Bacon. 40 seconds still left to go on the clock. And now it's Silent Gaming with the offensive pressure. So Silent Gaming? Arcticgaming, excuse me, my mistake. They are still going to be out towards their half of the pitch, though. Milox with control. Flav, an awkward redirect. That could get exploited, but Sack has no more players challenging for him, so he is able to combine with Zafair to get the redirects and shots back towards the orange half, on towards the midline field. Flav goes for a shot. Challenge eventually. Sack will get it back away for the next mid player. 10 seconds now remaining. Milox and Stroby going to have to clear this one back away. Sack back into the center. Yagi's got to kill this ball, and he will be successful in doing so. But Zafair there to recover off this backboard. It's set it up perfectly off the crossbar, close. And Sack will still try and recover, try and see if he can put it away. But Yagi will clear it back to Milox, who just puts it on the floor. No, Yagi keeps it alive, but Zafair cannot reciprocate. It's overtime in game one.
I'm so happy right now. This has been such great Rocket League. The kick the day off in overtime. Well deserved. Well brought back, of course, by Yagi earlier. Safir, great on the line. Jay, This is all going to be about a mistake in rotations. You can feel it. These two teams are just going to keep hammering that ball away, and then as soon as there's one little slip up, it is going to get punished. This is the type of overtime that can be over in 30 seconds or over in 5 minutes. We'll have to find out.
Well, you're saying mistaken rotations for Arctic. That does kind of hint to their detriment. They already lost their opening goal to an over-rotation, a rotation mishap, essentially. And that does mean that does kind of mean that from your sort of analysis, Arctic have Servette have the opportunities, and there it is, actually. Taking a shot coming in from Flavie, ends the overtime at 47 seconds on the clock, finding that small gap in, and you saw the open net. Yagi and Milox could not rotate in time, and well, you predicted it. It's 2-1 in game 1 to the favor of Servette.
Yeah, bunched up in their positioning, unfortunately not able to cover the whole net. And so, Servette take game number 1 in what we're both sure has got to be going the whole way to 5 games in this series. So, guys, make sure you're all buckled on in for this one, because it is going to be a wild ride here on DFH Stadium.
A very wild ride indeed. If this second game is anything like that first game, then I'm expecting some extremely low scores here in this series. And well, I mean, we've certainly been impressed by these boys so far. They have done some seriously good work on both ends of the spectrum. It's just Servette coming out on top barely by the skin of their teeth. So I'm imagining this second game will just be all the same. Game 2 coming in with Servette and Arctic playing for the kickoff. A nice start from Sack. No one there to follow it up, however. Flav's actually going to get redirected away from Yagi, who's got to rely on Zafair to get that clear. So fortunately, they're able to maintain control in the Servette side. But it's the early offensive pressure coming in from Milox and the rest of Arctic. Actually puts this first shot on target, which Zafair is again able to block. It's all the control as he puts another centered up shot, which Flav should be able to defend against the dangerous ball.
No.
But Sack's going to get the shot perfectly, and they were all committed to that offensive line, desperately needed that ball to go in, and they will pay the ultimate price.
See, this was just a lot of miscommunication. Milox needed to be getting out of there quicker, and of course you had Yagi coming on in. Arctic were doing so well there, Jay, in their setup. From the start, they're basically trying to hit this ball wide to move their opponents about, move Servette left, right, and center to spread them out, spread their defense thin. The problem is with that big overcommitment, that misjudgment on the line, Arctic could only fool themselves there. They got to redeem it.
Ever so slightly wide, else that would have been an equalizer from Strobe. But not to be in this case instead of Sack. Again, another great pinch on the challenge. Milox has got to get this away. Going off the crossbar, barely holding face for the moment here for the Arcticgaming side. Sack now towards the corner, setting up towards the mid position inside that box, and will just get blocked by Yagi, but the second touch actually going to get blocked by Yagi all the same. Flav unable to recover. Back between him and Sack, there will go Zafair trying to get in on the action, but just can't quite get there in time. So again, the ball favors the Arctic side. They do get that clear back together. Milox them out of the midfield, however, allows a perfect position for Sack to take control into this corner again. Flav challenging Strobe, awkward dribble back towards Yagi again. That defensive line right on the line. It's able to keep control. It's still a goal lead for the Servette side. But Arctic, I'm feeling they're on the precipice of scoring that equalizer.
I don't know. Servette here have been looking very good with their pressure. They're holding it. The problem is those decisions. They haven't been half rotating, Jay, which is funny because they're just holding on to that midfield line. They haven't put any sort of serious pressure on. That's why you haven't seen a goal or an attempt really at it so far. They need to cut back and attack with, say, 50 boost instead of prioritizing those big 100s.
Yeah, a small amount may be the difference maker here in this matchup, but that is also going to be quite good. Did Zafair just save that, or was that Milox? I can't quite tell from my position, but either way, it's going to be a lifesaver for the Arctic side as they remain at this 1-goal lead going into the halftime marker. Flav still trying to see if he can make it 2, but Milox and Yagi going to be able to deny. Yagi with awkward card control, can't quite get control of the ball as a result. So again, it's Servette back in the offensive pressure. Milox desperately trying to change that, but Servette fires right back in the double commit, completely misses the ball. 2-0 now for the Servette side.
This is literally the definition of threading the needle, Jay. Look at that between the two players. Safir is able to find the net. And once again, it was all just down to that pressure of just whittling down their opponents into making those bad decisions.
Wait,
because they had
what?
so little boost. But what? Stroby redeeming it. 2 minutes 20 remaining, and this game is far from over.
Oh man, no one expected that kickoff to go that well for the Arctic side. Stroby will take that and run straight through to the other side of the pitch with it. 2-1, no one in the defense, and that's gonna really hurt the Servette side. Again, Arctic are back in the game, but Servette again trying to get their offensive pressure ramped up. Into this orange half we will go. Melox, a great challenge to get it past the first. Back off the backboard, Flav's got to get this clear and will be successful. He pays the price for it getting demoed out, but that does open up an opportunity with Sack in the midfield. Yagi again going for a long-range shot, but Servette just rotates in time to keep this all Servette Geneva. In fact, the shot will come through from Flav in that midfield. Again, Yagi rotating in to save it, as he always does, being a defensive rock for this side. Now Melox getting outplayed. Yagi back into the midfield. Redirect from Stroby could be good. Yagi to follow through. No, the 50-50 challenge is once again massive for the Servette side as they keep control of this game.
Yagi has been playing this game so long boost. Unfortunately, his rotations are just lining up with, I do believe, is Sax, who's just taking that boost away from Jay here. So Yagi just can't grab anything, and that's where you're seeing these, what you called was a mistake, couldn't get control of the car, but that's because he's got nothing. He's trying to near enough do a jump as soon as he lands so that he can just keep that momentum going. Unfortunately, he doesn't have it in him because that is such a super hard move to pull off.
Oh, Flav back to Sack, no one's in the net. That's a redirect that's going in every day of the week. 3-1 now, Servette. Again, maintaining their control after Arctic once again go for the overcommitments on the offensive line. No one left back in the net. And that's a problem they've got to try and fix here, Bacon.
Oh, it is. And like you said, a redirect that was going in every single day of the week. That's almost like a set play for these players. Maybe not me or you, Jay. We would probably muck that one up. But for these guys, they make sure that goes in and makes it look easy.
45 seconds left on the clock with Servette. Just looking for that fourth goal that pretty much would put this whole thing on a match point. All going to go back though. Milos has a chance. Pass back towards Stroby. No, Zafir's going to get it. Chip back up. Third man to come through. Yagi with a redirect. No, Milos is here to back it up. Good shot inside, but Zafir has rotated once again. Servette keep control. Yagi and Stroby challenged eventually. Melox with control. Back towards Stroby himself. Going to try to see if he can pass it back into the centre, but no, Zafir gets the clear. That one's going all the way into the orange net. 4-1 now. And they have really ramped it up here, the Servette side. They're going to take match point, and maybe this game might not be as close as we initially predicted, Bacon.
So the last two goals coming out from Servette are just down to Arctic pushing for it. They have gone super aggressive because they need to get goals themselves. They're trying to close it out. They want to win this game. Understandable. The problem is when they go super aggressive, they leave so much room there for Servette to score upon, and that can't be happening. Up until the last second, you've still got to make sure, even if you're going super aggressive, that you've got the slightest bit of defense to save those. Servette Geneva 2-0 up, and what we thought was going to be a best of 5 is slowly morphing, transforming into what could be a 3-0 sweep here. And Jay, that scares me.
That really does as well, because Arctic are throwing up a decent fight, but when it comes to Servette Geneva, it's players that just spike in a ridiculous level of form. Like, you can see Zafir right there. 2 goals, 4 saves, 4 shots in total. Like, he's posting some ridiculous numbers in that second game. So going into game 3, if he keeps that up, then I don't see a way back in for the Arctic squad. This could be a very simple affair for the Servette Geneva side. Here we go, match points in game number 3. Arctic need the reverse sweep if they want to take this series away. And even then, they're going to take this first game to stay alive in the series. So it's kickoff for the third and potentially probably final game of the matchup if the last two games are anything to go off of. And you can already see Sack working off the kickoff. Will just about to get saved on the part of Melox as the first shot comes through for the Servette side. Favour to the Servette side. Yagi, Melox desperately trying to fend off the second as the fair comes through. Flav to keep this ball in the orange half. Sack with a great aerial, but actually going to get pushed back by Yagi once again. Zafir is going to have to get this clear, but he's been perfect with this one. He'll keep it inside the orange half.
If we look at the stats so far in league play, Servette generally in a game get 100 more points between them than the Arctic side. But that is previous results. Arctic need to turn it around, make this a reverse sweep, and get ahead, Jay. It really comes down to crunch time, and this is where they're going to show their grit. But Servette, there's a reason why they've got those stats so far.
I think that whole just like the last like 15 seconds or so just kind of like proved the difference in sort of like the caliber of the teams, because both teams tried a backboard setup, but for Arcticgaming it was that third man commitment that really kind of threw them off, because Yagi did not come through as a third player and actually try to get that goal scored. However, on the other side, Servette didn't even need a third player. Servette's position was perfect. The follow-up came through from Sack, and that's it. First goal scored just before we hit that minute mark. So Servette back in the control. Sack! Oh, that is beautiful. And a salt rubbed into the wound of the part of Arctic.
Oh, just a 1-2 play off the wall, and Sack landing perfectly onto the ground to receive it and tuck it away to bed. And that could also be the series tucked away for bed. 2-0 here. Arctic.
Oh no! Oh,
so close. Arctic really need to step it up. They've got to turn everything into overdrive here.
Yeah, crank the knobs up to 11. Oh, so they're going to be going out of this one, it seems, right here, Bacon. Good shot from Milox, a fake to come through, try and push the defender out of the way, and that almost ended up being their opening goal here for game 3, but we continue to play on at a 2-0 advantage, might even be 3-0 with Flav getting a shot inside. Yagi, a defensive rock, however, denies it every day of the week. But Sack once again off that backboard, can't quite get the double touch that allows Milox to take control, but Flav challenges him all the same, and Sack follows it back up. Ball in his control, trying to set up his teammates. The fair will come through, but fortunately the defensive is there first for the Arctic side, so they avoid going down by 3-0. But again, as you say, they've got to turn it into an offensive pressure, and Flav just wants to put that third goal, the hat trick, sort of in the favour of him. Flav, however, another shot, Milox to defend it. We keep up the pressure on the part of Servette.
Arcticgaming looking really disjointed here, Jay. They're almost playing solo standard. That's what I want to put it as. They're just going for these solo plays like this from Yagi. No, you can't be doing that against Servette. You've got to link up. The team, you can see, under all this pressure is starting to crumble. They're no longer a team. They're just 3 players trying to find points, trying to find that goal. And unfortunately, you can't just blindly throw that ball at it. You've got to duck, dive, weave, pass, whatever you have in your arsenal, and then you just might be able to get past the defensive Servette.
Flav setting up Sack, no clear off the backboard. It doesn't matter. Yagi still saving every single goal that he can. And as he sets up a redirect from Stroby, Sack does get back to keep it in the halfway marker. But Servette once again puts a shot that is just going to get saved again off this backboard. But now back to Flav as Servette just continue this unrelenting pressure in this orange half. Backboard shots, individual plays, passing plays. And yes, they are getting saved. But really the only man showing up right here is Yagi. Or in that back line, set up towards the offensive pressure. Strober's going to try to take control. He dunks it down, but too far wide. No way that's going in, even with the fair save. Milos with a follow-up that's going off the crossbar, and that's a shame. That's a disappointing way for Arctic to not get there first.
But better from them. Like I said, using each other. They're going for those team plays now. That's what we want to see, and that is what we want to see from Yagi, getting the first goal for Arctic in game number 3. And that opens up the chance for an equalizer and maybe game 3 going to Arctic.
So they're on the precipice for that entire offensive play. And now they have scored 1. They need 1 more, as you say, to go to overtime. As Yagi takes control back into the corner of the blue half of the pitch. Milox there to follow up and keep it in that corner. Tries to set up a centralized players. Stroby goes back on that backboard. Yagi not going to commit to this. He's playing scared. He's very clearly a defensive style player because he's not overcommitting. He's not coming in for these 3-man players. And just right there, you saw the follow-up did not come through from him. He's back in towards this corner this time as Milox goes back off the backboard. Strobe with a challenge for Sack. Way too close towards the ball. Puts it very far wide. And that is more than fine for Servette Geneva.
Well, if you look at how Arctic are playing, they're only going for 1 play. If it's not something that they have confidence will come out in a goal, they're not going to push it, Jay. They know that they cannot make mistakes here, and they've got to just book it on 1 good chance.
One good chance on 30 seconds remaining. The backboard play is coming through again, but Flav denies it on that backboard. As Yagi sets up Milok Stroby back in the back line's got to try and get this safe, but no, that one's going off the backboard. Sack's got a very good opportunity. He just chips it up, allowing Zaffair to come through. Milox will get that clear eventually, but 10 seconds left. Time is almost up for Arctic. They've got to make one final push work out as Zaffair tries to challenge Yagi back up. Drop down inside the danger box. Stroby with a challenge, but Zaffair reads it so well. Yagi's got to get this one up, keep it up, but it's returned back to the Arctic side, and they just try their best to keep the ball alive, but clears out into no man's land. Sack's going to put a shot on target, and the best they can do is put it off the crossbar and concede the 3-0 sweep to the favor of Servette.
So Jay, my point about inconsistency earlier for Arctic, this game proved it. When they were getting those passing plays in, how threatening did they look? Just
pretty threatening. Pretty threatening, yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
And then when they were going for those solo plays, nothing was working, was it? So this is where it comes down to Arctic. If you're listening in, we know you're fantastic players. You've just got to start gelling together. You've got to stop thinking, I would say, like with tunnel vision at that scoreline of just getting a goal. You got to think continuously. It's exactly why Dignitas works. We were talking about them earlier and why they're the best team sort of at the moment. It's purely because they're not looking at that scoreline, they're not looking at the goals, they're looking at each other. Arctic, if you do that, you could be leading the league. I have so much confidence in these players, in their ability. It's just the teamwork at the moment needs to be tweaked, Jay.
Yeah, and I think that is the missing key at the moment, because the 3-0 does not tell the story of that series at all. Like, there was some very close close score lines, low scoring games, and as well as that, it didn't look like the least confident performance there from the Arctic side. So, you know, I'm hoping to see more from this team in the coming few weeks. Obviously, this week is not theirs, as they will concede to Servette Geneva, but it is the expected result. Just unfortunate that it went to 3-0. So that's our first game out of the way for today. Our first match out of the way, I should say. Because now we have the Helvets taking on Silent Gaming after this very short break. So don't go anywhere, because the TCS eSports League continues after the break.